Good morning, Vinyl community. Happy Saturday. Hope all is going well in your world. Um, Here today for another couple records that I've listened to this time. Haha. Um, yeah. So um, things are going good here. Got a couple of records. This first record. Well, a little backstory behind this. Me and the wife, we walk the mall after work every day because it's too damn hot to walk outside in Idaho because of my fat ass, and trying to get that down. So we walk the mall, and the Boise Mall holds absolutely no interest for me whatsoever. There's nothing. There's no music stores. There's no nothing. There's just clothing, and I don't care much about clothing. I just don't. And there is a hot topic, however. Yes, I know where this is leading. And I guess Hot Topic is no longer carrying vinyl. Not that they really carried all that much vinyl, and it was overpriced to begin with. But we just happened to go in there one time, and there was a crate on the floor where they had their remainder records, because I guess they're not carrying it anymore. And they're all $10 each. So I was like, well, I'll flip through. And it was all garbage except for the very last record, which I picked up, which was the new Slayer. There we go. Let's see if I can do it without the glare. Repentless. And you know, I figured, hell, $10. I'll pick it up. What do I care? You know, I haven't heard much about this. I'm honestly not all that hip to a lot of new metal releases, which is sad in a way, because you know I know from watching like Greeno and stuff like that there's you know, some fantastic new wave of traditional heavy metal stuff coming out, and I haven't really had a chance to pick up any of that or get into any of that, which is really sad, because I hear there's a lot of good stuff coming out, and I'm gonna have to get on that. But I gotta say, I wasn't expecting too much from this. You know, from everything that everybody yammers on about on the internet, you know, new Slayer, new whatever, new blah 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 is terrible, and I think that's mostly just internet opinions, which you know, I hold not in the highest regard, because there's a lot of blah blah going on. I enjoyed this record. I thought it was pretty fantastic. It's definitely a Slayer record. It's not, you know, 80s Slayer. It's not. It's progressed. It's grown up. But it's definitely still a Slayer record, and therefore I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was, you know, it wasn't as speedy or anything like that. It, as you know, their early stuff, and I wouldn't expect it to be. You know, they've grown, what, 30 years, and you know, no Jeff Hanneman on it, sadly, but I really enjoyed this record. It was a lot of fun. And I'm actually going to be spinning this more. So, you know, I don't know what to say. Slayer. Either you like them or you don't. But I think this record was just really fantastic. I was pretty impressed. So there you go, Slayer. That's my medal for the day. Back together. Next up was something I ordered from eBay a long time ago, and it was sealed, so I never unsealed it. And this morning I did, and you know, it's Baker Gerbert's Army, 1975. You know, the Gervitz brothers and Ginger Baker from Cream, and boy, you know what really surprised me about this record? Oh, aside from being a pretty awesome album cover. Look at that horse. It's not often you see a horse with fangs. It's definitely a metal album cover. But what surprised me about this record was the soulfulness of it. I mean, sure, there's a lot of gratuitous drum solos. Of course, you're going to get that with Ginger Baker. But the guitar work on here is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But the songwriting, really, you can really tell it's sort of 1975, and there's a huge bit of soul to this. You know, there's one track on here, I don't remember which one, I think it was Inside of Me. Almost reminded me of Curtis Mayfield-ish. I know that's an odd analogy, but it just had a lot of soul. And the first song I listened to, or the first and second song, and I was just like, okay, gratuitous drum solos, you know, rocking out, whatever. But the guitars are great. The drums are great. I mean, it's Ginger Baker. He's a fantastic drummer. You know, the songwriting seems to be a little schizophrenic in the way that it's split up into drums and guitars and stuff like that. And some of the songwriting could have been tighter. But then once they sort of catch a groove by the middle of the first side and onto the second side, you know, they're really bringing in some soul elements, which I enjoyed. And not something I was expecting. My experience with the Baker Gurvitz Army was this one video I saw on YouTube where it was fantastic, and Adrian Gurvitz was playing this mirrored guitar, and it was just flashing all over the screen. It was pretty rad. If you ever get a chance to look up them live on YouTube, do so, because it's a pretty fantastic little short. Next record I have is a personal favorite of mine, from a band that I just think is just amazing. Budgie and Bandolier. You know, look at that. That's just fantastic. I guess today's theme is horses, because, well, you see. You know, we just lost Tony Borgia not too long ago, which is sad. What an amazing guitar player. What an amazing band, and what an amazing record. Love Budgie. I do. And, you know, just for I Ain't No Mountain and, you know, Napoleon Bonaparte Part 1 and 2, and Breaking All the House Rules and Learning All the House Rules. Pretty fantastic song titles. Boy, you know, and Burke Shelley, the vocalist and bass player, he's sort of a guy that he's kind of in that Geddy Lee camp that either you really dig his vocals or you're annoyed by him. I dig him. I really do. I think it brings so much to the band, and it gives Budgie its totally own thing. And, you know, these guys are like one of the premier Canadian rock groups, in my opinion. Just fantastic. Canada puts out so much good music, and you know, sure, we talk a lot about them on the VC as far as you know, how great Canadian music is, but I think in general, the populace, a lot of this goes under the radar, and they you know, they know the big bands, Rush and all that, but there's so much more if you go digging, and you know, I really dig it. But this is such a great record, and I was in hawing about buying it a couple of times because it was a little bit more than what I like to pay for a record. But now that I purchased it, I'm just every penny is worth it. You know, and the guy even cut me a deal, which for this, you know, fantastic. But look at the cover. Look at that. That's fantastic. You know, all the Budgie covers are fantastic, and just having a Budgie theme. how randomly awesome that is. Fantastic record. You know, the guitar riffs, the songwriting, everything just really comes together, and you know, there's almost a bit of a jazz element to it at times, and you know, they were so together and so ahead of their time. You know, Budgie should have. I don't know what their perception was in Canada. I don't, but here, I never heard of them growing up. I only actually heard of them once I read about them in the Pop-Off book, and I thought the name was so fantastic that I had to hunt them down. And once I did, I was just like, wow, you know, I dig this. I really do. Now, the last record was a suggestion to me from my buddy Josh Vanderloop, who I've known for many years on the internet. And recently we've been talking about music a lot, and he shot me an email or a Facebook post or something that was like, dude, check this out. It was on Discogs for like $5. And he's like, I was listening to this record, you know, once I heard this record, he said I just kept spinning it, you know, and he was totally addicted to it for a while, and he really suggested I get it, and it's Crack the Sky, Safety in Numbers, band I've never heard of, and popped it on, and it immediately starts off with this, as a touchstone, I would say Elliott Smith, acoustic guitar sort of songwriting. It sounds almost exactly like Elliott Smith. I'm sure Elliott Smith had heard Crack the Sky. And if you don't know who Elliott Smith was, he was that guy that did the Good Will Hunting soundtrack and put out a series of fantastic records, I believe, in the 90s. Killed himself with a butter knife through the heart. A butter knife through the heart. Whoa. Anyway, starts off with a sort of just a soulful acoustic part, and then it just explodes into these giant riffs. I was floored. I've listened to this a couple of times, and I don't know what to say about this, except if you haven't heard this, run and find this, because I think you can pretty much find it on the cheap. 1978, it was on Life Song Records, which is a label I actually haven't heard of before. But the first track, Nuclear Apathy, is the one I've been talking about. Wow, man, really. I'm happy to report this is one of the weeks that I get to say something blew my mind, and this totally blew my mind. So Josh, I can't say thank you enough. If I have one comment to make about Crack the Sky, is their lyrics are pretty terrible. Get this. She loved reading Cosmo. He liked to wax his van. They moved in together. She showed him her x-rays. He turned on his flashlight of love. She showed him her x-rays. He turned on his flashlight of love. Yeah. I have no idea what that means. None. But it's pretty fantastic, and it's so easy enough to look apart, because the songs are actually really well crafted and a lot of fun. And there's actually some touching stuff. He wrote about his dad who lost his mom, and he's just sitting there sad. Can get a little ballady here and there. I'm okay with that, as long as it's well done. And here it is. It's well done. got a little bit of prog elements to it, a little bit. You know, I think, but it's mostly just sort of a rock record, and a really, really good one at that. So hey, I don't want. I see I'm going 15 minutes, which I try to tend to keep it down. So I'm gonna cut this short here, and hope you guys are all doing well. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate all the views. I really dig watching your videos. Got some catching up to do, but hope all is well, and have a great week. Thanks a lot.